Hello! Luke Hitter here, and today I'm trying to do 100 Clanrats in 24 hours. Let's see, you get that up there. Start! Alright, let's try this. I know, right? Now, the previous night, I went out with a can of White Scar paint primer, and I primed everything, so everything was good and ready to start painting. I was probably that weirdo that everyone was driving by looking at, just spray painting in the parking lot of my apartment complex. And you know what? I'm kind of okay with it. I'm not a big primer person, but I felt like, if I sprayed everything white, it would have been a giant step in the right direction. Now, the first color I was putting down was Gilman's Flesh contrast paint for all the skin and all that, and that was probably the biggest, longest step I had for this entire 24-hour period. It took forever and forever. I also had a misstep halfway through it. My pretty black cat Sven, who likes to hop up and, mess with me while I'm painting and just demand attention, which I give him. He knocked over my bottle of contrast, which went everywhere. I have brown splatters all over my desk now. My shorts, I got a little bit on my shirt, and that was a big misstep, but he didn't know. He's just a cat. I don't know if there was anything I could have done to speed up this process, because it was one of the major colors that I was going to have to get through to get all this done. But I watched a lot of podcasts, and this took me most of my first night, and I did eventually get it done. And you can see this is how much of the pot I had left. And it was almost a brand new pot when I started. Whew. That's a lot of rats. And here I start on with the Plague Bearer Flesh, because I'm doing most of my Skaven are Pestilence. So I start with the Plague Bearer Flesh as their clothes and tabard colors. Easy color, it's contrast, so it goes great over the white. Thank goodness I did the first step priming, or that would have been even longer. After I got all the skin color down, it felt like it was going quicker with the tabard colors, because of I could be like, all right, here's 20, here's 20, here's 20, and here's 20, and it flowed a lot smoother, it felt like. Alright, got 40 Pestilence done. And then I'm gonna do 40 molder. And these guys are just gonna be blue. These guys are just gonna be blue. I think we're 7 hours, 6.5 hours in. Getting a little bit worried about now. Silver's gonna be worried about doing the silver. After the pestilence, I switched to Flesh Terror Red for the Molder tabard colors, the nice bloody red for all their tabard colors. This is, I don't know what to say I messed up, but I definitely, the red over the white definitely showed where if I was going too fast, it would leave more white spots than I would like. And if I went too slow, I definitely wasn't going to make this deadline. So there are a couple that I should eventually go back and really clean up the red lines where the red and the white met. But overall, it looks nice. Just the red for this Skaven is just such a classic color. 10.5 hours. And I've only done skin color and tunic color. It's currently 4:10 in the morning. I'm not gonna make it. Next up, dark brown for wood and shields. Then I grabbed the Grutter fur for all the wood, the shields, the poles for the banners, the spear shafts, and all that fun part. After I got the 60 pestilence and I eventually did 40 molder, it felt like it was going pretty easy because I could do 60 and be like, okay, I'm mostly done, and then keep going. So I guess change of plans. After 10 hours, I got this sharp pain shooting up my right hand, my painting hand. So I paused the timer at 14 hours and 48 minutes. So apparently, I'm going to change it a little bit, so it's going to be a cumulative 24-hour challenge, not 24 hours straight like I was going for. So, put everything up and go to bed. I'll resume the timer tomorrow, and we'll see how far we get. I got about 20 of the Clanrats with the Gorgutta fur wood color going on it, but I just couldn't go anymore. So, see you when I resume. Alright, we're back at it again. 4 hours of sleep. Kitty pestering. Back at it with the Gorgutta fur. Start the timer. Resuming the timer. As I explained at 5 o'clock in the morning, every time I would stop painting and move my wrist back from my painting position, I would get a sharp pain going on my arm. And at that point, I decided to sleep. And I paused the timer and resumed it in the morning. As you can see, I was way more energized after 5 hours of sleep than just straight painting. And it was a great idea. I do have 2 cats. Ben, he's all black, and this is Freya. She's a calico. She's my little princess. She decided to come be cute, and she demanded all the pets. Then I took a kitty pet break. Then right back at it with the Gorgutta fur, which was between the Gorgutta fur and the Gilman flesh. those both were the very tedious parts of this entire challenge. All the speed painting, watch anime in the background on my tablet. I watched so much anime throughout this entire challenge. Oh my goodness. And this was the part that I'd been dreading the entire time. All the little fiddly silver bits that I thought was going to take a lot longer than they actually did. It wasn't too bad because I had the two colors split at this point. I would always start on the pestilence and I would just head down and keep working on it. And then once I would get the pestilence done, I knew I only had 40 left, and that would basically carry me through the rest of the color. And Freya getting in again, always demanding the pets. She's a pretty girl. Over the course of this 24 hours, I did destroy both brushes I was using. I didn't really think about it, and I wasn't washing the paint off as much as I usually do, so I was just sitting there color after color after color after color after color after color, just keep coloring with the same color for hours, and I would wash it off maybe every 10 minutes, so it just kind of kept drying and drying. And but here I switched to Sandry Dust real quick, and I was like, I'm just gonna paint the banners, get that done, make those look really nice. Well, not really nice, but get those, have a color on those so they just at least look presentable for, you know, a small win. And I decided to go with Retributor Gold for all their, like, the shield like edges and metal on that, and then pick out some like talismans they have on their neck, and you know, just something, a contrasting color besides like a darker silver. Because I already did the love belcher, I didn't want to do any more of that. Throughout this challenge, my focus really wasn't recording on it, and you could see my hands are dipping out of the video frame, and I do catch it every now and then and pull it back up or reposition my phone to get better camera angles, but I was just focusing on trying to get as much painted as I could. Then after all the gold was painted up, I used Yashati bone for all the little bone bits and the teeth and their claws and all those little spots. Eventually, I didn't get a chance to. I need to go back and shade it, so just to knock it down some so it's not just so drastic. But at this point, I knew I was running behind. I wasn't going to get as much done as I could, or as I wanted to. So I'm like, I decided I'm just going to try to make these guys as playable as I can. So I grabbed the Glory Gun of Fur again, and I'm just slapping it down on top of their bases to try to give, like, you know, like some, like it's dirt on their base that they're walking through. Just to, you know, finish off the base, make it look like a cohesive army. That, since it was already white, it was a contrast paint, it was slapping down really easy and real quick. I got an hour left. They're not close to being as good as I wanted them to be. Brown straps and some highlights on the skin. But in the last hour, I'm probably going to try to get some black on the base rims so they at least look more complete than they are now. And this is the final stretch, me getting all the bases blacked. Trying to, you know, get the black Templar on the white base rims doesn't look the greatest. Because it's a contrast paint. I was just trying to be as quick as I can. Usually it's matte black and then I varnish the outside rims just so it's easier to see. And as I was doing the black, the timer was up. 24 hours was over, and I think I had 6 or 10 left to do black bases around, which isn't too bad. Alright, that's 24 hours. It was a struggle. Was not expecting it to be like that. 24 hours over, and I got them all pretty much base coated. There's some things I wish I could have done on them. But they're fieldable. I didn't get to the brown straps on some of them. Like this guy's head. The leather straps. I was gonna make that leather. I didn't get to it. Ran out of time. That, and I really wanted to dirty up some of their metal. And I needed to paint the sigils on the banners. Didn't get to do that. But they're fieldable. They're all colored. They look pretty nice. I wish I would have had an even 60-60 molder and pestilence, but it's okay. That just means I'll have to paint up 20 more molders for another video, maybe. Maybe a spearhead challenge or something like that. But overall, I think they look pretty good. If you enjoyed the video, if you enjoyed my 24 hours of pain, please leave a like, please comment, and subscribe. This has been Luke Ketter. Keep on painting.